Alright, let's see. Let's get off standby. Back that up a little bit. Hey man, what's up? Need to update our guitar command. S2020 X. There we go. Well, that's not good. Means you probably need to go get tested too. Yeah, I've got, let me see what's in pedals right now. I think I probably need to update that too. Yeah, so. Sure thing. There we go. a couple. That's been done a few times. Don't know of anybody that's doing it on the market for guitar right now. There's a company called Wounded Paw that does it for bass, or oriented towards bass. There was I think it was a Craig Anderton design called the Quadrafuzz or something to that effect, that essentially had that kind of idea, like a different fuzz band for different frequency ranges. And then Fairfield Effects used to make one called the Four Eyes Fuzz that was sort of like that as well. I don't know if it was based on the same circuit or not. It's an interesting idea, though. It's not something that's been explored a whole lot. Yeah, PV Allen. Maybe about a month ago, I had like my nose cauterized because I was getting nosebleeds really frequently, and I haven't had one pretty much since like maybe within a couple days of that. But I hope they're not coming back, because this is really annoying. Just getting random nosebleeds a few times a week. Yeah, apparently, like if your sinuses get too dried out, then like little veins will get kind of fragile. Little veins in the wall of your sinuses will get fragile and exposed, and then crack open. I wonder if it's because I ate a bunch of kale for dinner. Because kale, I know greens like kale can act as blood thinners. But man, so they went in and pretty much soldered the vein shut. But have to use like a saline mist, and have to use like a humidifier in my room and everything. The humidifier's in my bedroom, so down here in the gear dungeon, it stays pretty much the same temperature and humidity wise year round, which is in a pretty optimal range for instruments. It can actually get a little bit too damp down here, so sometimes we have hang like little dehumidifying bags or moisture collectors or whatever. Yeah, I hope that's just a one-off, because I'd be really annoyed at having to spend $200-something that I don't really have again to have them redo it. And they're not really supposed to redo it, because it can, if they do it too many times, it can damage like the walls of your sinuses and stuff. This one was a little bit different though, because this one was like a really, really slow kind of drip, and the ones I was having before were just like waterfalls, just out of nowhere. So I don't know. Happened like pretty, almost like a second, within a second of starting to talk, starting to play. Feels like I need to tighten up the arm socket on this. Getting a little bit of play in the arm. Anime nosebleeds. So basically I've got a rat type drive over here. And then I'm feeding it with a tube screamer with the gain pretty low. Smooth out the highs a little more. The preamp I'm running into is a little picky with drive pedals. It gets, especially on the lows, it gets a little fuzzy. Let's compare that with its own drive channel. The thing is, the highs get a little bit sizzly in that case. Need to try some different preamp tubes in it. So you can dial in sort of different combinations of the pre-gain and post-gain to change the voicing of the preamp. The post-gain seems to kind of cause the mids to honk a little bit too much. I need to see if I can find the actual manual for it somewhere that explains more specifically what its design intent was. The pre-gain smooths it out a little bit, but also gets a little bit of fizz on top. Still just a little bit, like I can't get the mids in quite the right place, quite where I want them. Let's see if we go back to same thing with the rat. Our highs are a little bit smoother, but I think it's a slightly boxier sound. There's a little more compression under the fingers too. What do I think of the Edge as a guitarist? I mean, he kind of um, he does his job. You know, I wouldn't consider him to be like a master technician or anything or a virtuoso, but he certainly kind of has his thing that he has made work in that context. And he's by no means a bad player. Though I find a lot of just their music in general less interesting the longer it went on. You know, especially as you start to get past like Akfung Baby. His rack is overrated. Yeah, dude, he had like 3 of them too. That's the crazy thing. You know, I actually have the Korg SDD pedal, the SDD 3000 or whatever it is. That was basically his rack unit in pedal form. And like you plug it in, if you set it to the right settings, you pretty much instantly sound like him. Like that is such a huge component of his sound, especially on the like the 80s albums. It's unbelievable. I think largely because not so much because of the character of the delay itself, but because of the preamp in that unit. You know, it has a really unique flavor. I got it out. I think we got that pedal out for like the very first washed out Wednesday. It's absolutely enormous. E string's not wanting to stay in tune. That's unusual. Alright, so let's see what we got. I know you guys made a few requests in the Weeb Wednesday channel, so let's check them out. I think the one Grim did from that old video game soundtrack was super shreddy. Dum, do, dum. Ooh, man, that's a ton of gain. That's pretty cool, though. So that'll be cool. I don't think Grim's here yet, though. He's probably still asleep. He sleeps through his alarm sometimes, which is amazing. Like, I think it's absolutely incredible that he sets an alarm to get up at 3 a.m. to watch our stream. But I haven't seen him in here tonight, so I don't want to do his song and then him miss it. Set the fan to start turning again. Alright, let's see what else we got. So we got Naruto. Yeah, it's serious dedication. And apparently he goes back and watches all of the VODs in full, too. I thought it was gonna be like a shred guitar with a freaking shakuhachi. So we could totally do that one. That one wouldn't be hard at all. Hausu, dude, Hausu is actually on Criterion Channel, and I've been saving it, waiting for October to watch all of the horror movies because they're going to add a bunch more tomorrow. But I've been waiting. I've got it in my list on there because I haven't actually watched it, the Japanese one yet. I've seen little bits of it. I've seen the American one, obviously, with friggin' Norm from Cheers, but I haven't actually watched it yet. I'm like super excited. I was planning on watching it with like Alec and Keep Watch, but you know, nobody can hang out now. Oh, dude, it's all fusiony. Da, da. That little whole tone kind of sound. That'll be fun. That'll be kind of involved too. All right, then got another one from. Oh, we did something from La Conciero before. I don't think it was this one though. Do 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 do. Alright, let's skip ahead. Sounds probably not too bad either. Man, the Japanese really like that chord progression. That there's a very specific type of change that has been in almost every one of the J-Rock songs we've done. All right. I got some nice guitar solo. All right, we could totally do that one too. Let's do the Naruto one first, since that's super weeby. Plus, it's pretty short. If Grimm shows up, then we'll take a look at his tune. I think his actually probably as far as like technical. Well, I don't know. The Houseman might be challenging too in a different way, a little more harmonically complex. Yeah, the Japanese have kind of. My eyeball's itching. They have kind of interesting, kind of idiosyncratic perspectives on the way they think certain things should be. So, like if they're going to play, you know, fusion or jazz, they have specific kinds of sounds and things that they do. If they're going to play rock, they have specific types of changes and stuff, and like thematic ideas that they like to do, like the way they like to take a theme and then develop it. It's pretty interesting, actually. Maybe because, you know, to them, that's all kind of like culturally secondhand. It's all stuff they're picking up after the fact, and then they've kind of heard it, you know, filtered through someone else, and then filtered through someone else, and then filtered through someone else, and then filtered through their own culture as well. All right, so let's check out the Naruto first. Naruto. What is it? The Raising Fighting Spirit. All right, let's copy that and let's update our title. Naruto. Oh, geez. Learning. Naruto. If putting Naruto in the title doesn't attract some weebs, I don't know what will. Alright, make sure I spelled it correctly. I mean, perhaps, I mean, in a way, yeah. Because, I mean, like, if you're not, like, immersed in the particular culture that has created a thing, I think, you know, that's the way things tend to get translated. I mean, even now, you go to music school and you know, say for jazz in particular, stuff like that, it's going to be very different than if you were, you know, growing up in a scene where jazz is a music that you hear daily and that you're immersed in. You know, that's why, like, say, we have kind of a, not exactly a pejorative, but a little bit of a jibe for certain types of bands and acts where you hear them and you go like, oh, those are jazz school kids, because it gets reduced into a specific way of being taught and translated, and then the music that gets produced from people who have learned it in that way tends to have these certain types of conventions, certain types of changes, you know, that come from a small subset of professors and influences and stuff. And I think that has to be kind of even more exaggerated when you're somewhere else. You know, when you're like almost completely culturally and geographically removed from the origins of those musics. Yeah, you do. We still use, at most of the stores that I've been at, most of the teachers will use the Suzuki Method for violin in particular for very young kids. Yeah, I mean, it's all about the sort of pedagogy, like who you learned from, how you learned it, when you heard it. You know, if you heard a certain type of music a lot as a young person, as a kid, and a young musician, then it's going to inform you differently than someone who kind of learned it later, someone who learned it as like an active learning process. I'm going to sit down and learn to play this type of music, you know. That kind of ties in a little bit with what we were talking about. What was it, Friday? Or maybe some point recently we were talking about how, like, there are folk musicians, and then there are folk musicians. There are people who play music that is, you know, inspired by and that bears the characteristics of folk music, but it's not quite the same thing as being like a folk musician, as in a person who existed in the culture that created the music and made the music without really the concept or the idea of it being folk music. Which mathematical method? Because I mean, there's a lot of early 20th century stuff like Schoenberg and Weber and the like that were using that were functionally mathematical methods for composition. All right, so let's see. Let's go. I don't think we need our delay. Let's turn our reverb down a little bit. We're gonna need I think a higher gain sound than this. Why is this low E drifting so much? I'm gonna have to change strings on this week. That low E is continually drifting out a little bit. I mean, they've been on here for like 2 years probably. All right, so let's see. Alright, so sounds like we're walking up the minor scale and then dropping into the minor blues. Wait a minute, I have to go open it on YouTube. to have access to the ability to slow it down. Close. Let's back up. A little bit more high end. Close. So second time. CCBB. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it's kind of amusing how he's like, you know, the king now. Some of his pieces, I have a few transcriptions of some of his pieces for guitar, and they're remarkably complex. Remarkably complex. All right, so. Well, it's kind of like the way Paco de Lucia was treated in the flamenco world, and I mean almost anybody in any sort of folk or traditional idiom is treated when they start adding non-traditional things. You know, they're outcasts at first until they become, you know, influential enough, and then, you know, then they're legends. It's always the way it goes. So we have our little minor scale, E minor, then we're going to do this little hammer on and pull off onto the A string, second fret, then D, A, then C, C, B, B. Yeah, we still need a little more high end. Da 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 da. Boom, boom. All right, so it sounds like a rhythm guitar. We'll do the lead theme in a second, but let's work out our chords first. Okay, so our chords underneath the first part are E, an E power chord, then down to a D power chord. Da, da. Sounds like we're gonna go down to a C. Let's back up a little more. E, D, E, D, C, D, E, then our riff again. Bum, 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 bum. So let's see if it does the same thing again. E, D, E, D, C, D. So that time it goes C, C, D, D. So it's a little bit different the second time. Ba, 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 ba. Kind of flips it around. All right, so now let's listen to our lead line before we get into the next section. All right, so we're going to be up here. Let's get a little more reverb, let's get a little more ambience. So we're going to be using the E minor scale. What does that sound like? That sounds like some other... So just E... Coming up to that high C. Doom, do, 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 do. So yeah, we're all right inside of the E minor scale. Nothing coming outside of the E minor scale here. All right, let's get that little phrase, that little quick phrase there at the end right. So we're going to want to leave that ringing out there and kind of pull off into it to sort of keep that flowing sort of smoothly there. So up to the C, D. So playing this up here at the 17th fret on the B string, 17, 19. And if you can imagine, like, see or visualize the E natural minor, it's all kind of in this little box here. And our chords underneath. let's see what's next. Starts off the same way. So a little bit different that time. So I don't have 24 frets, so I'm going to have to bend up to that high E. So back up to that D before we grab the B again. All right, so second time. So a little bit different tail there at the end of the phrase. Starts off the same way. But then when we come to the C, we have to go up to the E. C, D, E, D. And then we're going to sort of do that same thing where we let that ring out. And we're going to pull off. Then back up to the high D and land on the B at the end of it. Not quite, not quite. See if we can kind of fake a little bit of the flutiness too by using a little bit of our bar maybe. Yeah. You get sort of a regular vibrato though, because the shakuhachi has a kind of uneven vibrato to it compared to a guitar or even a flautist. All right, so let's get our chords here. Alright, so it sounds like I have C, B, E, boom. Back up. So sort of walk up chromatically essentially to the A minor. So C, B minor, then E minor. When we hit the E minor, we're going to walk up into an A minor. Then then come from the A minor bow, bow, to a G over B, like a G chord in the first inversion. C, D, 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 D. So. All right, let's work on getting the timing right. Bum, 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 bum. No, it's definitely not that. It has a little bit of twang to it. So. All right, so now let's listen to the shamisen solo. See if we can work it out. It's kind of hard to hear. Do da do 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 da do da do da do da do da do do da do da do da do da do. Not quite. Do da do 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 do. Almost. Do da do do da do do da do. Dun, 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 dun. Can barely hear it there. I'm going to turn it up some more. Da 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 Let me see what it goes into. Trying to figure out, like, it sounds like it's being played across a couple different strings. See if you can figure out how to get like a little palm muted chord voicing to make it work. Not quite. Down, 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 down. It's very heavily pentatonic. Do 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 do. Hold on a second. Do I have... Let me see what'll happen if I can get this to stick back here. Nope, that's too much. It's too wide. I gotta find something a little more narrow. If I can find something skinny enough, I can kind of fake the shamisen sound. Hey Casmo, what's going on? How are you? If I can find something like maybe like a 1/4 of an inch wide. Let me roll over to the bench over here and see what's up. This might work. Plastic would be better if I had something plastic. This might work if I can get it to go in between the strings. Be easier to do up here and then slide it back. Doing good, that's good. Good to hear. Or actually, it'd be even better if I could get it kind of wedged underneath the strings without putting it in between them. Getting into like some prepared guitar stuff here. Nah, not enough. It's not hard enough. What else would work? Yeah, MacGyvering, turning the guitar into a banjo / shamisen. This thing. This will probably turn it more into like a sitar sound. Yeah, it's kind of killing our. It's killing our. Kinda. It's uneven though. Let me turn it around the other way and try to get the straightest edge as the contact point. Sort of getting us there. Then I can use that piece of cardboard to hold it in place. I can get it like right up against. It's completely killing out the bass strings though. Oh, that's why the thing slid out from underneath it. Kind of turns into a weird ring mod. Well, yeah, so I mean, on a sitar, there's a little piece that's a component of the bridge on the sitar that's like a flat surface that the strings roll across. That's called the jawari, and I mean that's basically what this is acting like. And if you look at like the Dano or choral style sitars, that's essentially all they have. Is they have kind of like a jawari type device added to the bridge that causes the string to kind of ring off of it. But this is too wide. Again, I need something thin. I need something like the width of this little cardboard strip, but made out of this, something hard like this. This is actually pickguard material. The Variax is really cool. If I had one though, I would definitely want one in one of like the James Tyler style guitars. You know, they had that deal with James Tyler to license his body shapes. I would much prefer to have them in that. I did not like the original Variax with no magnetic pickups at all. Oh, that's cool. Bent us a little bit sharp. It also totally whacks out our bridge pickup because it's over the coil, over the magnet. Oh, that's weird. See what happens if we put it back behind the pickup. Oh, that's weird. It's like really, really interfering with the D string. That kind of knocked us out of tune a little bit. Oh well. Let's see. Alright, so we're at the part where it moves up high and starts getting these funky little bends. Boom, boom, boom. Try to get these really big shamisen bends. Pretty close. It's going to be very, very hard to get the actual sound. The one on the stand behind me is an SA1260. So this is actually usually the guitar that I play if I'm just sitting around playing something, you know, on my own now by myself. This is the SA series, is a thicker body, so more closer to a traditional Strat type thickness. Still not quite as thick as a Strat, as most Strats. Vintage style. You know, this is the Ibanez SAT Pro, which is, you know, like a 2-point style trim. Non-locking, though I'm going to get some locking tuners to put on it. Goto tuners, 3-piece maple neck, single. It had a humbucker originally. I put this Harmonic Design Z90 in it, which is basically a humbucker size P90. Once we get some pickups for the Suntech guitar, I'm going to take the Harmonic Designs I have in that and the neck and middle and put them in here too. This has a little bit thicker neck, a little bit thicker and rounder neck than this one does, which itself is a little bit thicker and rounder than the ones on the RGs. This is an ultra neck on the S2020, and this is I think a Viper, or basically the same as the old Viper neck. On this one, a little bit more rounded radius as well, but pretty similar. Still has the mahogany body, has the same kind of finish and stuff too. Has these offset dot inlays, which not a huge fan of offset dots, but this one does have the weird feature of them like running vertically instead of horizontally with the fret, which is kind of neat. But I really like the neck on this guitar. Just feels fantastic. I need to tweak the setup a little bit. It's gotten a little out of whack lately, but right now it's still just the stock Ibanez pickups in the neck and middle, and then this is a Harmonic Design Z90 in the bridge. And then I'm going to put, I have a couple Harmonic Design Vintage Plus Strat pickups in another guitar that I'm going to put into this one once I get the right pickups for that guitar. Because I'm trying to find the original ones for that one to restore it. And I'll put them in this one so they match up better with this one. Because this is, Harmonic Design is probably my favorite pickup maker, aftermarket pickup maker. And so I'm going to load this one with all Harmonic Design. Then with the donations that we got a few days ago, I'm trying to track down the bar for this, and then I'm going to get some. Right now it has nice Goto tuners in it, but once we get the bar, we'll definitely want locking tuners, and I'm going to get some of the Goto locking tuners to go on here for it. Got this one from a pawn shop for $150. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, I've gotten a bunch of good deals from that pawn shop. One of my students has as well. I bought that guitar there for $150. I bought a Fender Japan Mini Strat, which was like a kind of like a 3/4 size Strat there for about $100, and wound up selling that for like $600 because they're apparently really desirable. Some people really want that smaller body. It's way too small for me to play because the neck was absolutely tiny. But bought a diamond tremolo pedal from the boutique Canadian company for $25. Gosh, what else? Bought an Ibanez 7421, an old Japanese one, for like $100. Wound up selling it for like $400, I think. But I've bought probably 6 or 7 things from there over the years. And then one of my students bought a Les Paul, like a Blueburst Les Paul Standard Plus from there for like $900, I think. And then he bought a San Dimas Charvel there earlier this year for like $850. It's in a really high traffic area. And so they just get a ton of stuff coming through. And for the most part, they don't really seem to research stuff all that much. You know, if it's not something they can like find really easily, then they just try to get rid of it. Most pawn shops, you know, are going to offer half or less of what they price it at. Well, they do, like, there's a database here that pawn shops have to sign up for, and so anytime they take something in, they have to run the serial number in the database, or they get in big trouble if it turns out, you know, that they sold something stolen. You know, I'm sure some of them don't do it, but you do see them get busted somewhat regularly, uh, for selling and exchanging stuff without running it through the police database first. Plus, they're a pretty big pawn shop in a, like I said, a very high traffic area, so they would definitely have some eyes on them. You know. Yeah, I mean, this guitar, this isn't like, or that one back there anyway, is not the most collectible Ibanez, but still, I mean, even in the shape that it's in, it's worth $500. What a lot of people do with that model, that's the model that basically became the Andy Timmons model, the AT100 or whatever it is. So what a lot of people do is they'll buy that one for $500, 600 bucks, and then they'll put the, like, what does he use? The Cruiser and the Chopper, and I can't remember his bridge pickup, but they'll put like the Andy Timmons pickups in it and put the locking tuners on it, and then basically sell it as like an Andy Timmons model light, and then, you know, they'll get an extra few $100 out of it, because the Andy Timmons model is usually like $1,500 used. And so suddenly they'll take that, you know, $600, $500 or $600 guitar and turn it into, you know, $1,000, $900 or $1,000 guitar to people who are Andy Timmons nerds, which it's got to be a pretty small market, but still, apparently you can do it. Aesthetics? What about aesthetics? Alright, so I think we're going to be getting back to, sounds like we're getting back to flute now after this part. Oh, it's got a few dings, but nothing horrible. It's got got little bumps around the edges and stuff, but nothing bad. Nothing bad, and the neck is clean, which is really important. Alright, so let's see, it sounds like we're getting to more flute, so we'll get a distorted sound again. Do, do. Da 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 da. Our chords underneath are bum, 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 E minor, then a D over F sharp up to a G. Sounds like dom, ba do ba da da la. Yeah, pretty normal use. You know, it clearly hasn't been babied, but it's not, you know, just a complete beater or anything like that. I mean, this guitar probably has more wear, more dings than that one. Mostly from me learning how to set up Floyd Roses and accidentally, you know, dropping Allen wrenches and screwdrivers and stuff like that on the top in different places. Like these little guys, little dents from tools hitting the top. Right. Alright, let's see, where are we? Da 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 da. Alright, let's see how high we need to go. We may have to start this phrase an octave lower if we have to go super high. Bum, 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 bum. Do da 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 da. Let's get a little bit less saturation. Do da 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 do. Da da dum. All right, let's go back to the beginning of it. Ba, 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 okay, so yeah, we're gonna have to start this one lower, otherwise we won't be able to get the high notes. Da 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 da. So da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Let's slow it down in here and see if we can get that last note. I can't quite make out if it's an F sharp or if it's a low E. I don't know, back it up. So it's a G. Da 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 da. So so the second section. Da, 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 da. Then it sounds like we're back to our intro riff. Da, 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 da. Wait a minute, I should add this as a window. I keep forgetting I should put Firefox in windowed mode, and then I don't have to keep switching back and forth between things. Alright, let's move you. No, don't go into full screen automatically. That's incredibly annoying. Alright, so... I've used Firefox. I've used Firefox before it was Firefox. I've used it since it was just Mozilla. It's pretty much the only browser I've ever used with any regularity. I've tried a few others, but You know, I like it. It still has a little bit of a problem with memory leaks. You know, if you open a lot of tabs, let it run for a while, it'll tend to kind of hog memory and doesn't want to close properly. Uh, but I like the customizability of it. I like the fact that I can, you know, tweak pretty much anything and everything. And for the most part, it still seems to be the most kind of privacy inclined browser, aside from, you know, maybe a couple others that are specialized in that are just pure private browsing. But, you know, there are some claims and issues about it. But all right, so that's the same as the first time. Get our delay off this part. Use Netscape Navigator way back when. Oh man, I'm sorry for that. Netscape was not so great comparatively. I mean, better than Internet Explorer, but that's not hard to do. Bam, 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 bam. I'm gonna hit that big E minor at the end there. Gotta get a little more staccato. Alright, there we go. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Not too bad. Aside from the shamisen section being sort of tough to hear and emulate on a guitar with the guitar's attack. So let's see. We'll look at the one that Ride posted next. That'll be fun. That should keep us pretty occupied for a while. Before we do that though, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. We'll be RB. All right. All right, so let's check out. Oops. One ride posted. Let's get it open in the browser. Yeah, the shamisen part's a little buried. Like there are a couple little sections of it that you can barely hear at all, unfortunately. Alright, so let's see what thing. Alright, so let's see, this is eat. Let's update our title. Stats back to 0. What's up? Alright, let's see. This is Hausu. Da-da-da-doom. House soundtrack. Track 4. We'll just say, you don't need to put track 4. I don't think anyone cares. Just chilling. That's cool. Yeah, we're just hanging out too. Learning little tunes. Alright, let's see. So that should be right. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Well, welcome to the stream. We usually have fun just kind of messing around, learning tunes, talking about guitars and gear and music and stuff in general. Sometimes we fiddle around with other instruments too, bass and banjo, and sometimes we just make weird noises for fun, but we usually stay pretty laid back. Alright, let's see, where'd my Firefox go? There it is. Alright, so let's slow that little phrase down and see if we can make out every note. Close, close, close. Not quite. They're going to start getting these modulations. Alright, so it sounds like we're shifting to like a combination of Mixolydian, or maybe a little bit of diminished scale actually. Let's get just a hair of this. Nah, that's too soft. Let's see. Sounds like we're getting almost a chordal type harmony there. Bum, 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 oh, that'll be fun. Da, da, da. Do da do 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 da do da do do da do do. So we're gonna land on that D, then we're gonna start walking up. Do da do do da do 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 da do. So if we shifted to like either a D diminished or it could be like a D Phrygian dominant sort of sound. Do ba do ba do ba do do do. So let's slow that down. Do do da do 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 do. Boom, 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 boom. Ba, 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 ba. All right. Da, 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 do. 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 All right, so that one, the last one's a little different. So we wind up on E flat. Nope, that's too far. Do 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 do. So that one becomes a little more chromatic. Do 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 do. So da da do da da do da da do da da do Slow it down a little more for that phrase. Just going down chromatically. Whoop, too far. Oh wait, it skipped a track. I was like, why did it change all of a sudden? I mean, quit being goofy, YouTube. Not quite. Bad fingering. That's pretty close. That lands us back on the A too, and it goes back into the original phrase. Alright, yeah, so that. Depending on where we play that, that's like a little descending, like the whole tone scale descending chromatically. We can wind up back here. So pretty close. Pretty close. All right, let's get it back up to tempo and see if we can kind of get aligned with it. Nope, then off by a fret. Off by a fret. Don't want to do it all on the same string too, so let me refinger it. Definitely sounds like it's on that string. All right. Ba-da-da-doo, 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 diddle-diddle. All right, so get the same thing again there. Do da 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 do do da 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 do. I'm interested to see. Hold on, who all is on this track? Because this sounds so Mahavishnu Orchestra. It is not funny. Like somebody is going hard. Trying to sound like McLaughlin here. Let's see. Filming. All Japanese guys. Yeah, like they are doing a serious impersonation or impression of them. Do-do-do. Alright, so it says music by Miki Yoshino. Music by Miki Yoshino and Ase Kobayashi. So let's see, he's got 1968. He's got an actual YouTube page. Let's see what's up with it. He joined the Time Is Now Jazz and Rock crossover concert with the Hinu Quintet in 1987. Yeah, so he's done a bunch of fusion stuff. Okay. Oh, he graduated from Berkeley. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Interesting. Wrote and played the soundtracks for several films, actually. Huh. That's cool. Da-ya-doo, 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 diddle-diddle-doo, ba-da-da-ya-doo. Da-ya-doo, diddle-diddle-doo, da-ya-doo, diddle-diddle-doo, da-ya-doo, diddle-diddle-doo, do-da-doo, do-da-doo, bum-bum, do-da-doo, do-da-doo. Try to pick them all. Play with the open strings. Alright, so now we're going to get kind of into but he's even got that kind of tone where it's like sounds like a Fender amp just cranked up just enough to get it to squeal a little bit when you pick hard. Dude, that was super fun. The middle is all pretty much just improvising. This has some crossover with what last Friday's stream was supposed to be before we got distracted by Megadeth guy who donated $10 for us to play a Megadeth song, then was too drunk and left the stream, and then unfollowed at some point after the stream. Who knows, people? Yeah, but that'd be more fun to do fusion type stuff more frequently too. To do a fusion night, you know, I'm thinking about creating like a broader range of rotations. So rather than just doing, you know, 2 different general things every other week, I'm thinking about kind of changing it up. So we do maybe something a little different every stream. You know, so we have, you know, 3 or 4 different Monday things, and we have 3 or 4 different Friday things, and 3 or 4 different Wednesday things. I don't know if there's too much rotation, if it can be too random for people. You know, but say changing like, say, one of the music theory Mondays to like a mellow Monday where we do, you know, folk music and just chill music in general. Yeah, variety. I mean, I prefer doing a wider variety of things. The issue becomes, you know, like what people are coming to your stream for. Like, I know you guys, like you and Ofasad and Grim and Alec and Casmul and Wee Baby and stuff are regulars, and you guys like to hang out pretty much no matter what's going on. But we also definitely have on some of the nights, especially like the music theory nights and stuff, where like we go from averaging, you know, 7 and 8 to averaging like 3. And the same to an extent on the jazz night. While it seems like Free for All Friday tends to be really popular, but I don't want to, you know, I don't want to give up on the different theme nights and stuff like that, because it helps. I think it helps focus stuff a little bit more, rather than just playing requests every night. That would drive me crazy. So kind of what I got in mind, like Fridays, is do maybe 2 Free for All Fridays, do 1 Friday night jazz, do 1 Friday night, calling it Friday night funk, but, you know, doing bass, and then maybe swap in for the jazz sometimes, or swap in for one of the Free for All Fridays, you know, Friday night fusion or something. I was thinking Friday night folk, but I can incorporate that into mellow Mondays for the most part. Wouldn't know what else. What else could we do on Wednesdays? That was definitely fun. Definitely. definitely. If you don't articulate the word definitely enough, you wind up sounding like Rain Man. Yeah, Wapner. Wapner 330, definitely Wapner. Oh, Dustin Hoffman. All right, let's see. So then we had the La Conciero. Do-do-do. Alright, let's get Streamlabs back up. Let's check this one out. Probably playing that higher. A little bit more on that. Yeah, world music. I mean, like in one sense, we kind of do. We wind up getting into a lot of world music-y type stuff on here. Um, but then when you say like world music in an American sense, that tends to imply this sort of like new agey kind of thing. I don't know. Bum, bum, All right, so what's our bass note here? All right, let's get our bass notes going, right? All right, so. All right, so over A, ba da 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 B, then G sharp, ba da 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 C sharp, A, B, E. So da 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 da. Come on, E string. Alright, so then we're going to get this lead part. Alright, so we're going to need a lot more gain for that lead part. And a little bit of delay back on. Da 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 da. Oh wait, we gotta update our title too. Do 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 do. There we go. So da 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 do. So E major scale. Da 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 da. I'm going to need 24 frets. That's why. Yeah, it's definitely 24 frets. Okay. Hold on. Let's switch to an RG. Do da do. Yep. Let's see. Let's try the 550. The 550's frets are a little janky way up high. If not, we'll switch to another one. Yeah, I have 3 RGs. I have an RG 760, an RG 750, and an RG 550. But the 550, like I said, needs a little fret work. So if we choke out, we may have to change to one of the 7 series. But I haven't had the 550 out in a while, so it'll be fun. Throw the strap over there. Oh. Yeah, once we get you know, like I said, I'm trying to buy a Sony A5100 for us for, you know, to get us started with a better camera, but they just keep selling out everywhere, or the price keeps getting jacked up. Like they were down to like 449 a couple weeks ago, and then they sold out instantly. And now that they're back in stock, they're 549. At which point, you know, I might as well just try to find a used one. But need a mobile camera to really to be able to do that, because they're kind of like all around in these 2 or 3 rooms around me here. That, and I'd like to get some more of them kind of fixed up. Oh man. So like this guy needs a little plec, like a plec service, you know, which is a couple $100 to take care of some of the unevenness up here in the upper frets. This one's actually pretty clean otherwise, though. It's got a couple dings here, a little bit of worming on it. But otherwise, in pretty darn good shape, all things considered, given how old it is. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic. This is you know, an archetypal guitar. There's like a little dent in one of these frets. Where is it? Right there. Like where somebody has dropped something on it or hit it with something. It's not just regular fret wear, it's a little indentation, and so you can feel it when you bend. No, it's not a JB. This is a oh, I took it out. I took it out when I first got it. I can't remember which model it is. It's one that you don't see as often. I'm probably going to get some DiMarzios to put in it, though, just to be Ibanez appropriate. You know, get some like green DiMarzios or something ludicrous looking. No, I don't think it's a Screaming Demon. Which one was it? Hold on, let me go to the Duncan website. It's not as hot as like a JB or anything like that. Products, pickups, electric. Holy moly, could they have more nested menus? Let's see, 6-string, bridge. Alright, so let's see, 59 JB / Pearly Gates, jazz. Definitely not that. Probably not as hot as Evo's. I usually don't like pickups to be that hot. I haven't decided which models yet, though. Oh, when I see it, scrolling. Doo-doo-doo. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Well, I don't see it anywhere. Do-do-do. I'll have to take it back out. See if I can remember which model it is. Do-do-do. Might be a custom. Does that sound right? Oh wait, here's a custom. Yeah. Yeah, that might be what it is. But it was one I hadn't really used much before. Yeah, I mean DiMarzio just seems appropriate given that, you know, the stock pickups were more or less DiMarzio copies. On the 7 series, they were literally made by DiMarzio, but you can hear like it's not super hot. It's not like super mid-rangey. Yeah, definitely a different voice. It doesn't have that big kind of honk you get from a JB or something like that. All right, so let's see. Doo-doo-doo. Only trouble here is getting my fingers in when we get this high up. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Like it doesn't do that really raw kind of mid-range thing. Like probably wouldn't use it for trying to play like, you know, Van Halen stuff or anything like that, but it's very articulate. So I would like... a little more mids over here. So we're just kind of in this little E major scale. Coming all the way up to the high E. Very like gigantic frets. You go to slide on these frets and you're like speed bumps. All right. G's a little flat. B's a little flat too. Alright, let me see. Let's unlock this. With my wrenches, I swear. And that's too small too. And that's too big. Definitely not you. No. Where'd my multi-tool go? Jeez. Don't you love it when people mess with your tools? Alright, let's see. You should have the right size on you. Do 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 do. There we go. Yeah, you're smaller. Let's unlock this and retune real quick. Since our fine tuners are kind of running out of range a little bit. This is one of the handiest things ever for working with Ibanez. This came, I don't think it still does, but it came with Prestige instruments for a few years, and it's got the correct Allen wrench sizes. It's got the truss rod Allen wrench, screwdrivers, the little the socket for the ones that have bullet style truss rods on the end, which is quite a lot of them. But man, it's useful. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, that E-string tuner is pretty much all the way down. So let's set all our tuners back to the middle and then just retune it real quick. Da-da-dum. Da-da-da-da-dum. It's a really useful thing. This one says Prestige on the side. If you can get a hold of one, it's just a generally useful kind of tool. Not just for Ibanez. Yeah, this E is definitely flat. A bag of 48 Allen keys. I've got a million of them over there, but I usually have them organized, you know, laid out by size, and then I have my ones for my truss rod nuts kind of set out a little bit. But somebody has been over there in the tools and has like squished them all together. So there's like 20 or 30 Allen wrenches over there that are all just kind of like piled up now, which is really, really, really annoying. Probably somebody going, oh, I need an Allen wrench. Let me just grab one. Oh, no, not this one. Duh. Not this one. Duh. Not this one. Wow, you are just going to be that way, huh? You have to tweak the trim springs a little more. Yeah, I'm going to have to tighten the trim spring slightly. This happens every now and then. We'll have a setup moment on the stream. It can be a learning experience for anyone who cares. All right. So the bridge is pulling up a little bit more than I want it to maintain my setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go tighten the trim strings very slightly in the back to pull the bridge back down. The Ibanez Edge in particular has a little hash mark on the side, like a little inset hash mark that shows you, so you can use to sort of set it so that it's level or parallel to the trim cavity edge, which is what we want. You know, we don't want our trim tilted up this way or pulled back this way. We want it to essentially be so that the saddle tops are parallel. And so this one has a mark. There's a really cool new bridge, I think maybe Hipshot or somebody makes. It actually has a level in it, which is really cool, like a little, you know, bubble that shows you when it's perfectly level. But I'm going to eyeball this. It's not going to take too much. Yeah, it just kind of comes with the territory. All right, so I'm going to turn it over. Take the trim cover off. Now this is all original, so I'm aside from that pickup. So normally I would just leave the back plate off entirely, but I want to make sure that that everything stays together with this one. Because this is the first year of production. I'll try to find an original bridge pickup for it too, even though I'm not a huge fan of the stock ones, just to have it. So in the case that I ever sell it, I'll restore it to 100% stock, but then put something that I like to play in it in the meantime. So this is what I'm going to do just to show you. These springs here are attached to something called a trim claw, and I'm going to tighten this slightly so it pulls the back end of the bridge back down some. I need a little bigger bit for that. Might need tighter trim springs. This is actually cranked down pretty good already. Alright, now I'm going to go tune again. It's kind of a balancing act. Well, it is a balancing act, not kind of a balancing act, where we're sort of compensating for the bridge tilt and tuning and trim spring tension. And every time we change one of those things, it's going to affect the others. Yeah, V7 and V8. We still have the original, the V7 in the neck here, but it didn't include the V8 when I got it. This also came from a pawn shop, from their online store. So just that little tiny adjustment has pulled these way sharp. No, not that cheap. But still cheap for a first year 550 in this color. But they just had it listed as Ibanez guitar. And then I found the original, like the original style case, the gray chainsaw case, at a pawn shop for like $30 or $40. So I don't really plan on selling this one though, because it's, you know, it's the first year of production in, you know, one of the most desirable colors. Probably never going to find another one that reasonably priced. You know, so I'll invest a little in getting it plecked and getting the getting some pickups that I like in it, and then just play it. Alright, let's see how we look. Almost there. Almost. Probably put a touch more on there. Yeah, that's something that I think would be fun to do, just to go around. I mean, pawn shops probably wouldn't let you stream inside of them or bring cameras inside of them, because they tend to be super paranoid. But at least the music stores and stuff like that would probably totally be down for it. But and then like I mentioned when we were talking about doing like giveaways or raffles or whatever, just going through like my routine of tracking down stuff online, and then, you know, using using donations or whatever, if we ever get that big, using donations to buy good deals that I find, and then like giving them away or raffling them off or whatever on stream. I think that'd be a lot of fun. You know, if we find some cool pedal or cheap guitar or something. Do-do-do. Da-da-da. I'm getting a little tangled up here. All right. Let's see. Yeah, the people at Goodwill, for the most part, won't shoot you if you make them angry, unlike the pawn shops. Around here, they'll be like, "Boy, you some kind of terrorist? What you doing? Don't film me. Don't film me, son." Yeah, that's getting pretty close. Getting pretty close. That tuner's slipping a little bit. Alright, that's just about spot on. Just about spot on. All about kind of equilibrium. See, that one's slightly flat. That's good enough. That's close enough to lock it down. Close enough to lock it down, and then tune with the fine tuners, and we should be good. You have to be super careful with this era of locking nuts, because it mounts the bolts through the back of the neck. And people get on here just cranking and cranking and cranking, and then crack the neck, which is why they changed later to the what they call the top lock nut, which mounts to the shelf from the top of the fingerboard, so you can't really over tighten it. Alright, so we should be good now. We'll do our final tune up here. with the fine tuners. Let's start with the D. Alright, that's good enough. Needs a little more tweaking, but we can do that later. Or I can do that later off stream. Getting it perfectly dialed in can take a good bit of time. Usually once you get it, really dialed in where you want, then it'll more or less stay there. It won't take too much. Yeah, the locking nut, that's why they completely redesigned it and went to the top lock setup. Because they just had so many, and you see tons of them from this time period. They used this from what 87 to maybe 90 or something like that. And you just see tons of them with those little cracks, little hairline cracks running out from the nut or from the bolts. You can't top Bitch's Brew. You can't. Can't be done. Yeah, basically anything they put this nut on, especially with anything with the Wizard neck. So I mean, that's all the early RG series, all the Power series, all the Saber series, the Gems and UVs. Anything that had this nut is highly inclined to have those cracks. And that's part of the reason, why I was so excited to get this one. Yeah, sure, it's got some little fret issues and stuff, but it's relatively easy to fix fret issues, and it doesn't really impact the value of the guitar at all. But those cracks, man, you just never know when they're going to take off. Plus, they're ugly. Let's see. All right. Alright, so you have E, A, right, and so our A has this moving tone on the D string. C sharp minor, B, A, B, bow, bow. So that second time we come up to a high C sharp minor, it sounds like. Goodness. So C sharp minor 9 arpeggio starting on the 9. On YouTube. So then we're over an A. Man, Firefox is being really sluggish. Sounds like we're changing to a D. All right, so this little bridge. Whew. Goodness. F sharp minor to B. All right, so F sharp minor, G sharp minor, G sharp minor, D. Then C sharp major. Yeah, that's it. Then F sharp minor, B. Yeah, sort of. It's kind of like kind of almost smooth jazz, like the way it's phrased. It's got like that little bit of funkiness that smooth jazz tends to have. Then back to. We're a little different this time. So. No, not quite. So. No, not quite. Da 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 da. There we go. Alright, so. Da 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 da. Okay, yeah, so. There's that little arpeggio again. Yes, that's that same thing again. F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A, B. So that time it walks up instead of going straight from the F sharp minor to the B. We get ba da 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 da. So then this is like an E add 9 sound. To an A add 9. So we're kind of walking up. Back it up a little. Up to B. So G sharp minor, A, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, B. All right, so. So this whole little bridge section. so sounds like we're starting to get a little bit of tapping in here for our solo. C sharp minor, F sharp minor, B. Alright, so let's see where it goes after that. Close, pretty close. May actually be all tapped. There's one like minor tone in there. Kind of a big jump in there too. Alright, so I'll slow that down some then. Badu badu. It's got that kind of big hop in it somewhere. It sounds almost like there's a bar dip at the very beginning of it, the way it sort of comes in, which would make tapping not work for it. Alright, so Alright, so da 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 da. Okay. So we're coming up on from a half step underneath. Alright, so day. Yeah, that can't be that bad. So do that and that and down. So this is all still just kind of like E major arpeggio type phrases here. So all right, so don't. And then there's our cliche blues scale lick. So let's get that. Let's hear that at tempo. All right, so. So you get that little tag right. Da do da do da do da do. Kind of improvising there a little bit. So. Not bad, not bad. Close, not perfect, but not bad. So F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A, da 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 da. Let's back that up a little bit. B, G minor, G sharp minor, C sharp major, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, C sharp major, C sharp suspended 4 to C sharp major. So da 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 da. All right. Let's back that up a little. Ba da 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 da. So that's similar to the first part, the first time we did that. Then back to the add nines. So we just tag it and it fades out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do 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 do. All super E major scale. There's only a couple notes really that in those little solos and lead lines that don't come from the E major scale. Gain. Ones of the second fret are really tough to get out. There we go. Oh, dude. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely have to go with new springs. It's not, or I might have to check the knife edges or studs. It's not quite returning to 0. But happy to do it for you. That was a lot of fun. Had a cool variety, like a good variety of songs tonight. It's too bad Grim didn't make it because his would have been kind of a different thing too. His was more sort of shreddy. Then he'll go back and watch the VOD and be like, oh, you didn't do my song. Like, bruh. Gots to be here. We have Free For All Friday coming up Friday, though, so we can do whatever. All right. Been at it for 3 hours. I think it's time to wrap it up. Thanks all y'all for hanging out with me and putting up with the delay that we had earlier. If you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord. If you haven't followed the socials down there, they're in the description in my About section. Check out the social media stuff, the YouTube and the Twitter and the Instagram. All that kind of business. But we'll be back Friday night at about 9 p.m. Technically, it's a free-for-all Friday, so we just kind of do whatever we want. Talk about whatever, chat about whatever. Play all kinds of music, all kinds of instruments, all sorts of stuff. But again, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to call it Beer and Gear Friday. Not a terrible idea if I had some. I'm still not sure, though. I'm still not sure if I can get away without putting the 18-plus thing or whatever on my stream. And I really don't want to do that if I can avoid it. Because we do have, like, what's his name? Caden or whoever in the Discord and stuff who hangs out with us. Who is definitely, not of drinking age. But I'll look into it more, see if I can figure it out. I would think as long as we're not just like going crazy and doing silly stuff, it probably wouldn't be a problem, but I'm not sure. Not entirely sure. And I'll see y'all next time. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If you don't just go like, hey everybody, let's get drunk, come on. It probably wouldn't be a problem. Whew. Anyway, I'll see if I can find out. Thanks for your requests. Thanks for the chatting and the patience.